How have you been?
Cheers. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Yeah?
I'm actually doing extremely good.
Yeah?
Quarantine has been the biggest blessing in disguise for me.
I honestly could completely agree with that.
So how have things really changed for you? Like when you're looking at everything, I know it's been just a
Yeah.
wild year for everybody.
I mean, yes, I think 2020 has been a little crazy, but for me, I started quarantine with a brand new job.
Amazing.
I know that you did too, though.
Yeah,
shortly
we were
after,
both talking about that,
so
yeah.
we were kind of in the same boat, but I've been fully remote the whole time, and it's kind of been great because my last job was super demanding, and I think that it's kind of nice to have time to reflect and
Exactly.
I get to plan my schedule now and my
Ooh, look
day,
at you,
and I
look at
love
you.
that. So that's definitely what I've
What
been
would you say is
doing.
one of the biggest things that you learned?
In
Yeah,
quarantine?
in quarantine.
I would say that moving forward, whatever I do, I need to have a schedule that's flexible. I don't ever want to sit in a room for 9 hours a day. You know, my last job, I literally went to work at 7:45 in the morning and didn't get to leave until 6 p.m.
It's insane.
And I was in the same room all day.
Yeah.
So I think that I definitely want to be my own boss and have my own schedule.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that I thrive with. So I want that. So I
Yeah.
think that's what I've learned.
I love that. That's amazing. And I feel like I've actually found myself in the same position. I started a new job too. And I realized that I can't sacrifice fulfillment. I've done a lot of good jobs and I've loved all my jobs. You know, I'm like a workaholic, but I cannot sacrifice fulfillment. One of the things that's really been on my mind is that everything that you felt prior to quarantine has been amplified. And with that thought, it has me wondering, how can I level up my contribution in my life to make the most significant impact, you know? And that's really why I wanted to sit down with you today. You're someone who has extremely good discipline, and that's something that I could definitely learn from you.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that it definitely comes with practice. I think that I've failed a lot and I've, learned a lot from things, and that's what's created my discipline. And I think that you're not always motivated, but you have to create habits that are going to lead you in the right direction. And so I think that's why I've created discipline in my life, and it's led me to things that, I'm doing now.
So what are the principles that are driving your discipline? If you had to maybe put it on 2 or 3 things, what would you say?
I feel like that's a little hard.
It's so tough. It's so tough because there's so much that goes into discipline.
There is, but I think that it comes down to knowing yourself. So personally, I know that I'm a morning person, and so I thrive the best in the morning, so I'm going to utilize that. And I created a schedule behind that, so I get up really early and I do all of the things in the morning that are best for me. And then I can dive into work and get things done, because I do things in the morning that are good for me. So I work out first thing in the morning. I've done that for years. It's a habit now.
Exactly.
Which has created discipline. So now I don't even think about it. If I don't want to get up, I still get up.
Okay, that's fair. So I can't personally relate to that. I'll let you know. I'll let you know right off the bat. But when you're focused on your habits and you're focused on your discipline, there's always this little animal or this little whisper in our ear, and it's called distraction.
Definitely.
How do you handle distraction?
I think that it comes down to what you want. I think that you make time for things that you really want and you really love. So, I'm going to relate it to working out. That's the best example I could use, just because, first thing in the morning, I like to go to the gym, and I don't talk to anybody. I go before everyone's awake because it's important to me, and I make it a priority. So, I don't know. I feel like it's you have to have direction, and you have to think about the things that are important to you, and you also have to sacrifice things. I could be doing other things. Instead of staying up all night and going and getting a drink with my girlfriends, I'm going to go to bed because I want to get up and do that thing in the morning that is important to starting my day.
Now, that example that you just pointed out right there, going out, I'm not going to do that. That's something I think is extremely practical. But what is a significant sacrifice that you've made? One that was extremely tough, internal conflict, Natalie, am I gonna do it? Are you gonna do this or what?
I think that you kind of know this because we've discussed it before. So
exactly.
I was saving for a new car. Okay, so if you know me, I have a shitty car. Okay, I've had my car forever, literally since I was 16. It's probably gonna die soon. And I was saving for a new car, but one day I want to open an animal shelter or an animal rescue. And so I took the money that I was saving for my car and I put it aside, for land, because I'm gonna need capital to purchase land. And it's because my car is still working, and I can still drive my car. So
it does what it does.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's not the priority. And I think that that's something that I've learned like as I got older, was you have to prioritize things in your life. And I know that one day that's something that I want, and it's like I can sacrifice the little things now to get there.
It's so respectful, like respectful for yourself, you know. And I feel like that a lot of people talk about self-respect in a way of like not letting people speak to them a certain way, but I feel like this is a form of self-respect, if not self-love, if anything.
Well, I think it comes down to knowing yourself. Like I said, you know, to begin, it's just I know myself, and I know when I operate the best, and I know also what I need to do every day to get myself closer to what I want one day. And you know, that dream that I have, I think that it comes down to knowing who you are and what you really want with your life.
You talked about priorities, right? When you look at your priorities, when I look at my discipline, I focus on one thing: what matters most, right? When you're going day to day, what matters most to you?
Ooh, I feel like that's a loaded question. Yeah. I feel like
it's so simple, but it's essential. I actually read the book, The One Thing, and it's focused on that. And a lot of the projects and things I've been working on, I'm like, I need to be focused on one thing. So with the podcast, I'll give you just an example to help out. You know, I'm like, okay, I need to do, you know, graphic posts. I need to do video. I need to do picture. And I'm stretching
but it's the
so
bigger
thin.
Picture.
Well, no, it's just like what matters most. What's the one thing that I need to be doing to execute and be successful? Well, that one thing is what? Speak. Record.
So you've been utilizing that.
Exactly. If I'm not speaking or not recording, that's going to pull me back from the goal that I actually want, right? So that's kind of my number one principle, what matters most. So.
See, and I think mine is a little bit broader than that. So I know that, I don't know, I would say that I'm a very like self-sufficient person, and I'm like very independent, and so that I utilize those things in my life. And so like I want to do things every day that's going to make me the best person I can be. And so what I mean by that is like I get up every day and I work out because that's something I do to clear my head, to keep my body healthy. And like I also meal prep and I eat healthy, but I also splurge. You know, you kind of have to have a balance. But it's like that is one aspect of it, and then it's like I go to work every day and I bust ass because like I want to be successful for myself and like for my future and like for my family. And so it's like different aspects. I think you have to know what your goal is in each aspect of your life.
So what I'm kind of hearing right now, correct me if I'm wrong, you're collecting small wins and small victories. It sounds like if I go to the gym in the morning, success. Day at work, I kick butt. Success.
But I think that's
success.
learned.
So it's those small victories that really kind of aid your discipline.
Yes,
that's good.
But it's because I've done things that have hindered my discipline, and it's you have to, you know, kind of do both to see the results that like lead you to success. And I mean, you know yourself better than anybody. So it's like if I don't go to the gym and I don't eat well, like I'm not gonna feel good.
You're not gonna feel like you're not gonna feel like yourself.
And so it's like I know what I could do, but it's like, do I really want to do that? Because it's gonna hinder the progress that I want to make.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like motivation. I might not always have it, but I'm still gonna get up and do those things because I know the end result because I've been on the other side of it. If that makes sense.
No, and that's actually true discipline. I want to give you all the credit because I think you're like the greatest person ever when it comes to discipline, but we're a product of our environments, right? Explain a little bit about your upbringing, like how it got you here.
Well, I mean, I think that for me, I learned from my dad kind of this behavior, you know. He's a very strong person, and he grew up in Mount Vernon, Ohio, like middle of nowhere, Ohio, and basically like turned his life around and like became very successful and built everything from the ground up. And so I think watching him do that gave me the strength to do that. I think I've always been a very independent person that, you know, I've always had an idea of what I wanted for my life.
Yeah.
And I think that some people don't have that. And so you have to first like find out what you want with your life. And then you can go and find out what you have to do to get there.
Exactly.
And so I think that I've just always had that example. And so it was easy for me to fall into my own path and follow that.
Okay, so a lot of people, they might not have that relationship with their parents. They might not have it with their father or their mother or someone that was close-knit growing up. So their environment are friends.
Yep.
How essential are your friendships to influencing your discipline, and how do you manage that?
I think
because I'm struggling with that right now.
See, and that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of a tricky thing to do. I think that, you know, your best friends will understand you you know, and what you're going for. And I think that the people that matter to you will support you.
They will.
You know, all of my best friends, I would say they know me and they know that like I'm gonna go to bed. Like I'm, you know, I am.
Yeah, like.
And I'm gonna get up. Like, sorry guys, like that's just me. And I feel like I've always been that way, so they know that. It's about being consistent, and I think that the people that are in your life will understand, and if they don't, then bye.
Yeah, they
like,
have to go.
Yeah, you know, it's not worth it to like fill your time with people that aren't going to help you get closer to your goals, or, you know, have similar goals.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
makes
asking
sense?
for a friend, yeah, theoretically, right? I'm asking for a friend. If I was this friend and, I think I just exposed myself, right? I'll
Yeah.
drink to that. So, asking for a friend. I'm around this group of people right now that they aren't really disciplined, and I'm starting to feel like they're influencing me because I'm a product of my environment, right? My closest 5 friends. How do I respectfully detach from that? What would you say?
I think that it's definitely a fine line to walk, you know, but I think that, have you ever had an open conversation with them about that?
I mean, this isn't me, this is my friend.
Okay, I'm sorry, has your friend ever had an open conversation?
Yeah, let's say they're struggling to have the conversation. How do you move that conversation? How do you guide that talk?
I think that I would first, you know, kind of start with myself and what it was that, you know, I wanted. So it's like, for example, if your friend, you know, really wanted to start doing something, you know, habitual and like doing something in their life that's going to be different than what their friends want, I think that they need to like really plan that out intentionally within themselves, have an intentional plan about what your actions are going to be, and then go to your friends and be like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm thinking. Either they're going to support it or they're not. And if they don't, then I would just be like, hey, you know, that's fine. Leave it and then go and do you. Because it's like at the end of the day, they're either going to join you or they're not.
They're just not.
And it's the people that don't are the ones that'll come back around.
Wow.
They'll come back around when you're successful and you've made it and then you've done what you said you were going to do, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. And you'll be like, yeah, because I told you that's what I was planning. And either you could help them go down that road as well, or you could just say, you know, you weren't there, and move on.
Certainly.
You know, it's kind of just, that's why I say it's a fine line, because it's like, I feel like I've had a lot of friends in my life that have either come and gone, and the ones that have stayed through everything, and they know me and they know my process and just like my direction, are the ones that also have a direction for their life. You are a product of your environment, but you don't have to be.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
you know, you
you
can
don't have to.
choose who you associate with, and also your friends can choose their direction. And it has to start with that person. It doesn't start with you. So it's like you choose your direction for your life. They have to figure that out for themselves.
Yeah. So we were just talking about friendships. I just want to take a quick little
Er,
turn,
er,
right? You're a beautiful woman, right?
Thank
and
you.
You're at like the prime age of dating. How are you looking at men? What disciplines in their lives are you looking for that are essential to be with you?
Okay, I mean, I think that is a powerful question.
Okay.
But I do have an answer for it. I think that because I have such a plan for my life and I know what I want, I definitely want to be with somebody that also has those values and also has direction in their life. I think that you have to be with somebody that matches where you're at, or at least will push you to be better, and
or
you
has
can
the
push
awareness,
them.
yeah.
Yes, because it's like if you're over here and you're just doing all these great things, and this other person has no plan for their life, somebody's gonna suffer.
Yeah, it's like unequally
It's
yoked
uneven,
or whatever. Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? And so I
absolutely.
think that I look for somebody that has strong values in what they want for them, like their lives, and they go for it. And they also support the fact that I'm a strong woman, because I am, and that's hard for men.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It is, but I've always had direction, and I think that that's something you're either on board with or you're not.
I love that. That's amazing, because I'll let you know right now, that's something that I'm kind of struggling with. Just like, how do I assess someone's discipline? Because, you know, when you're dating, we do such a good job of putting up that front or putting up our best version of ourselves. And it's kind of, it's very complicated to figure that out. Now, I'd love to act like we're just so far ahead with our discipline and we're working so well. And I mean, you do amazing. You have your schedule and you have your priorities aligned. But what I want to know is what are you struggling with? What's something that you're just like, I really need to kind of tune into that and like get on it?
I would say that, so previous to quarantine, I had a very like this is what time you had to do this is what time you had to do that. No. And yes, I like the flexibility of creating my own schedule, but I am struggling with like time blocking. So that is something that I have like
Wow.
dived into since
Yeah.
like quarantine started, was making sure that I like blocked my time for certain things, just because. So I started doing physician recruitment, and so
Yeah.
I have to block my time specifically for clients, like specifically for certain doctors and stuff like that. But I also have to make time for eating
Yeah,
and like
eating.
working out
Yeah.
and like stuff like that. So I feel like time blocking has been something that I struggled with because I was so used to having a set time to do things.
Right.
And now I need to create my own set time. And so that was something that I had to really dive into once quarantine started, but I've definitely, I think, gotten better at it. I mean, I haven't perfected
No,
it,
and
but
the thing is that when you're working from home, it's so complicated
hard.
to have that schedule.
Yeah.
I forget to eat all the time, and it's something that smacks
my
me in
thing
the
is
face.
drinking water. I
Yes.
used to drink so much water.
That hit me so hard as
And
soon as
now I'm
quarantine
like,
hit.
dang
Working
it.
from home, like, I used to drink a ton of water, but now I'm chronically dehydrated like the rest of the country, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, honestly, Natalie, this conversation just overall has been just so therapeutic. But I'll be completely honest with you, I'm almost done with this glass of wine.
So am I.
I mean, if we keep staying here all night, I mean, we'll just keep going. But I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day because, first off, time is so important to you.
It is.
Yeah, and I just want you to know you mean a bunch to me, and you're a quality person, and I just really appreciate spending quality time with you. So
Well,
we'll
yeah.
definitely have to do this again.
I appreciate it
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. So I guess until next time, we'll
Yes,
cheers and finish
cheers.
these glasses, right?
Yes.